Okay, so this is a video on sketching parallels using factorisation. I just wanted to look at some of the things that key characteristics of parabolas. So we've talked about these before. Y-intercept here is where the parabola crosses the y-axis. X-intercepts could be there could be 1, 0, or 2. In this case here, there's 2 here, and the turning point is where the parabola changes direction, which is this point right here. Okay, so we can determine all these different characteristics of parabolas by doing different things. Okay, so y-intercept, to find the y-intercept, you solve, so make x equals 0 and solve. Okay, x-intercepts is the opposite. We make y equal to 0 and solve. And often we have to do that because it's a quadratic. We often have to factorise, which is what this is about. So I'm going to put in brackets here, we factorise, and we use the null factor law, okay, to do that. So we'll do that in a little bit. Axis of symmetry is another thing we could find out, which if we were to draw a line through the centre of this, is straight through the middle there. Sorry about the not so straight line, but to find the axis of symmetry, you find the average of the x-intercepts. Okay, so what you're actually doing there is you're finding the halfway point. Okay, because parabolas are symmetrical. Okay, about the axis of symmetry, the x value of the turning point is going to be halfway between two x-intercepts. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit as well. Okay, so once you've found the axis of symmetry, it's a simple matter of plugging it back into the equation to find the y value. Okay, so use the axis of symmetry as an x value and sub back in to find the y coordinate. Okay, so that's basically how we do all these characteristics. All right, I won't highlight them all. No need for that. So let's do a couple of examples. All right, so the first one we got here says sketch the parabola below showing all key characteristics. Okay, now the first thing we want to do, the easiest thing to do, is to find the y-intercept. So as I said up above, to find the y-intercept, we make x equal to 0. Okay, so substituting in, we get y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 5. Okay, so once you get used to these, what you'll find is that the y-intercept will pretty much always equal this constant at the end. Okay, we call it a constant because it has no variable multiplying it, so it always stays the same, whatever value y is. So if you put in 0, y value is going to be 5. Okay, so that's our y-intercept. Okay, so I'll highlight up there. What I usually do is put these things as you go along. So because of sketching, you only have to do approximate values. So I'm going to put my y-intercept up here. I'm going to say that's 5 there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is find our x-intercepts. So x-intercepts, we make y equals 0. Okay, so now this is where our factorisation comes in, and all our skills from our last unit come to fore. So we make, and I'm going to put y on the end, okay, because we're making it equal to 0. I'm going to write x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. Now, as you know, you can't solve this because it's a quadratic by normal inverse operations. We've got to factorise it first and use the null factor law. Okay, so let's look at, now remembering how to factorise these, we need factors of positive 5 that add up to negative 6. Okay, so let's look at some factors of negative 5. In fact, there's only 2 pairs, 5 and 1, and negative 5 and 1. So if you add 5 and 1, you're going to get positive 6. So I think we're going to have to go negative 5 and negative 1. Okay, those two add up to negative 6. So in our brackets, what we're going to have is negative x minus 5, x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so use the null factor law. So use NFL, that's what, in this case, what NFL stands for, null factor law. Okay, and what you'll find there is when x minus 5 equals 0, x is going to equal 5, and we're also going to have another equation where x is equal to 1. Okay, so these end up being my two x-intercepts. Okay, I'll write that on the side. All right, x-intercepts. Okay, so I can mark those on my my graph or my sketch as well. Now, x equals 1 is here, because this is my x direction, this is my y direction. X equals 1 is here, and x equals 5 is over here somewhere. Okay, so we've got 3 key points there, and you can actually draw this parabola using those 3 points, but I'm going to show you how to do all the key characteristics, because you'll need to know that a bit later. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the axis of symmetry. Okay, let me just hang on a second. Okay, the axis of symmetry. Okay, so the line through which this is symmetrical. We find the average of the two x-intercepts, which is the middle point. You might be able to see that it will be 3, but I'll show you the process just in case it gets a little bit trickier. So to find the axis of symmetry, you add 5 plus 1 and divide by 2. So what you're actually doing is you're getting an average. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so what I can tell from this is my axis of symmetry. Can I draw a dotted line? No, but look, we'll do it here, and I'll just put a 3 there. Okay, so what I'll actually show you, I'll make this in green. I'll see if I can do this as best I can. Let me try that again. Close enough. Okay, so what will happen is our turning point will occur where x is equal to 3. Okay, so we don't yet know what the y coordinate that is, which will be there. It's going to be negative something. What we do is we sub this back in. Okay, so sub in. Actually, I'll write this down. Axis of symmetry is equal to, will be x equals 3. Okay, and what we do is we sub into equation to find y. Alright, now my equation, so I'm making x equals 0. My equation again is going to be, so let's use blue, y equals, now it was 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5. Okay, so if I work that all through, that's 9 minus 18 plus 5. 9 take away 18 is negative 9 plus 5 is going to be negative 4. Okay, so that's my y value. So the turning point, TP, the turning point, is going to be equal to 3, it's going to occur at 3, negative 4. Okay, and that's a coordinate pair, so you can actually say that's negative 4 there. Alright, so that is how you find those 4 or 5 bits of information. Okay, it's pretty much the same concept for everything, even though they can get a little bit harder. Okay, you need to mark these on here. What you should also do is, this is okay, I've marked these, but you should write the coordinates here. So this is actually 3, negative 4 here. Okay, so I'll finish this video now.